Hey, what's going on, guys? It's LuceyGoosey or Kyle, and welcome to my Week 4 matchup for the PSBL. This week we're going up against Coach Byron of the Pittsburgh Registeelers. He's got a really good team, as you guys can see on the screen right there. He does have the new Zeraora, the new mythical Pokemon. I hope I'm saying that right, because I actually don't know how to say it. So for this match, I didn't really know too much about Zeraora. I tried to do a little bit of research on it, but I figured it was just a fast electric type, so that's how I prepped for it. I knew that it was mainly physical offensive, so I felt like Tangrowth and Camera could deal with that really well. Of course, we're bringing Camera up this week because the meme is still here. There will be a few weeks in the future where I don't bring Camera up, but I'm going to try to bring it as often as possible. Of course, having Blacephalon and Camera up on the same team is kind of difficult to work around because they do have very similar weaknesses. In this match, I could tell right off the bat that Sharpedo was a really good check to both of them because Sharpedo does get Aqua Jet, which can OHKO both if he is banded. So we do have to watch out for that. Of course, Tornadus being such a huge threat. Going into this match, I have a Spadef Alomomola and a somewhat bulky Reuniclus to deal with it. But I kind of underestimated Alomomola's bulk, and I figured that Tornadus would be the lead right off the bat. So I wanted to lead with something that would that would cause him to either U-turn or cause him to kind of taunt, I guess, in a way. But I was really afraid of the Tornadus, so I led with our Azumarill, because I felt like that was the best thing to pressure his Tornadus. A few things also to mention: he had Mamoswine on the roster, did not bring it, chose to bring Dhelmise, which I was really surprised about, but Dhelmise does check Reuniclus somewhat well if it's AV. I do have Yachi Berry on my Tangrowth for the Mamoswine, but it didn't end up coming, which is kind of unfortunate. I have a Choice Scarf Blacephalon, which if he is like defensive, bulky Altaria, even if he is Dragon Dance, I think we outspeed at +2, and we can deal back about 40% if he's Fizz, or 50% if he's Fizz Def, about 40% if he's Spadef, or like 35%. And yeah, we can do a lot of work with Blacephalon late game. I did recognize that Miltank was a really good check to our Blacephalon, so I know that I have to take down Miltank at some point in this match. I do have knockoff on a couple things to get rid of its leftovers, and hopefully we can take it down with our Azumarill. But anyways, yeah, let's get into the battle. I do lead with my Azumarill, as he does actually lead with this Tornadus. And immediately I'm like, oh shoot, this thing might have a Z move, and I don't really have a great switch in. I wanted to go in the Alomomola, but I didn't really think about his bulk, and he does go for the Supersonic Strike, taking us down to 18%, as I'm just going to go for the knockoff. I was hoping that it was Assault Vest. He actually was the Z move, so we're just going to get as much damage off as we can. We do get the crit, and unfortunately, we're going to let Azumarill not really have too much of an impact in this game. I could click the Normalium Z Belly Drum on the Miltank, and that's one thing that I can do in this game, but instead I'm actually just going to sack off Azumarill right here. I'm going to click the Play Rough in case he tried to set up on me, and we're going to go down. So go out into Reuniclus. It is a Fizz Def Reuniclus. I know I can take any hits from this, and I was hoping that he would be special, but he is physical, so I can take some hits from this. I'm going to go, I believe, for the Trick Room on this play, and unfortunately he went out into the one thing that pressures me, so I'm going to have to go out into my Tangrowth, and I can click Knock Off here to get rid of any item, so he's going to go for the Shadow Claw, and I'm actually going to go for the Toxic because I didn't really think he was going to stay in, but I probably should have just went for the knockoff. Instead, though, I can Synthesis up on this play unless he gets like a huge crit, but he gets the crit, it doesn't really matter, and I can Synthesis up. We do have Regenerator as well, so on this play I am going to go for the Toxic because I predicted him to switch out. He couldn't win that battle, so we do get the Tornadus with the Toxic, so double Toxicing there really works out, and now we're going to have to switch out. We do get our Regenerator back up to full, and we go out into Reuniclus, hoping we can eat some Hurricanes, but it turns out that it is going to do still a ton of damage, but we can win this battle because we have Recover. He does show the taunt though, so it means that we can't really win, so I am going to hard switch out, I believe, on the next turn. He does U-turn, which I feel like was a decent play because he does predict the Psychic, which is good on him, but I'm going to go out into my Tangrowth here, because I can take basically anything he wants to go for. Even if he has Ice Fang, I have the Yachi Berry, so he does get the speed boost, and I feel on this play, Giga Drain's my best play. He goes for the Super Fang, and Giga Drain is going to take him out, bringing me back up to 80%, which puts me in a good position for this match, but every time Tornadus comes in, I just am really lost for ideas on what to do. I need Camera up under Trick Room or Blacephalon to come out, but getting those things in for free is really difficult, and he does get the free switch into Miltank every time. So I do just go out into a Lomomola, and it actually turns out we eat these Hurricanes really well. We do get confused, which hopefully we don't get the confusion hacks on us here. He goes for the U-turn because he knows that he can't really win this battle, and I'm going to go for the Wish. And I feel like my best play here is to go out into camera up. I know I can take any single hit from this thing. I figured he probably just goes for the Plasma Fist on this play, so I was like, camera up can take that. I could go out in the Tangrowth, but I want to get offensive pressure. So I go out in the Camel, and he turns out to be the special Zeraora, and Grass Knot does 72%, meaning he is a Specs variant of Zeraora. I don't know if he wants to stay in right here. I feel like Miltank's a pretty safe play for him, so I'm going to Mega Evolve, and I believe I just go for the Lava Plume. Unfortunately, not getting the burn, but we do get 20% off on it, which I'm assuming has Miltank, which isn't a big deal. He does get his rocks up. There's nothing I can do about it. I don't have any hazard removal. I could have stayed in, but not really much I could do. I have Will-O-Wisp, but I didn't want to get an Earthquake to the face. So I go for knockoff here, hoping to get rid of his leftovers, but he does go out into the Torn, which I can't really do anything to Torn, so I'm just going to go out into my Alomomola on his U-turn. Good play on him, and he gets to go out into Zeraora again. So on this play, I looked at the calcs. Tangrowth can take 2 Thunderbolts decently well. I think a Thunderbolt is doing about 45%, and we are at full, so we can take 2 Thunderbolts. So I am going to go out into Tangrowth right here. We're going to take the rocks damage, and he is going to crit us for 60. So I think that means, yeah, it would have done 40% if it wasn't a crit. But he crits us for 60, and now we are not in a good situation at all. We can't take another hit. He does switch out, however, as I go out into Camerupt, and I think this is a decent play for me here because he can't really do too much of Camerupt, so I am going to go for the Will-O-Wisp as he goes out into his Miltank, making Miltank really not great offensively, and I can go out in the Arena Cliff and recover up here. So you can see we eat this Earthquake. It doesn't really have any attack investment. It's full Spadef, and I can just click recover here on a switch out in the Delmise. So I actually clicked Psychic here. I forgot about that. I knew that he wasn't going to stay in. I knew Delmise was the obvious play. He is obviously Assault Vest, and I need damage off on it for Reuniclus to win this match. Reuniclus is clearly my win condition, or Blacephalon, but as long as Miltank's on that field, Blacephalon can't win this game. So I do go for the Psychic, get some damage off. I know I can go for another Psychic, but it's not going to kill, and I don't want to lose my Reuniclus here, so I am going to hard switch out in the Tangrowth. I know I can recover up on the Miltank at some point. Tangrowth can take 2 Shadow Claws, so I am going to click the Synthesis here as he goes out into Zeraora. I know I can take any single hit from Zeraora, so I am going to stay in. He does have the Hidden Power Ice. I can Giga Drain up, and I did not realize that this thing was very bulky. I thought Giga Drain would do like 50%. It does 27%, so we are going to have to sack off our Tangrowth here. However, I knew he was specs into, I forgot about that. I knew he was specs into Hidden Power Ice, so our Alomomola can take that hit any single day. And now I'm just going to click the Wish as he goes out into his Altaria, I think. No, he goes out in the Tornadus as I go for Scald. Okay. I guess I had a free play there. So he goes for Taunt as I'm going to go for Scald again. No, I went for Wish. That's later in the match, I guess. I went for Wish. He's going to U-turn out as I'm going to go for Scald on the Zeraora. Hopefully we can get a burn. We don't get. Oh, we do get the burn, but it's not going to matter because he has specs. So he can go for Thunderbolt freely here. I know I have to stack something off. I wanted to go out as much as I wanted to go out into Camerupt. I didn't feel like it was the best play because Camerupt could still put in work under Trick Room. So I'm going to stack off my Tangrowth here as he does in fact go for the Grass Knot. So 2 Grass Knots will take us out. If I went to Camerupt there, we would have lost our Camerupt, which wasn't the greatest thing. So my only play right here is to go out into our Reuniclus. I could have went out into Blacephalon as well and pressure that, but I go for Calm Mind, and we're put into a decent situation where we can maybe win this game. So I have to go for the Psychic here because he's going to taunt me. I already know he's going to taunt me, so I am going to go for the Psychic. He does click the taunt, and our Psychic's going to do good damage, but not do enough to kill. So I feel like he probably just clicks U-turn here, but he goes for the Dark Pulse instead, allowing me to kill his Tornadus. Being at 38%, we are in range of Altaria's return. Well, at 44%, it was a roll, and I could have clicked Trick Room right here or Psychic and felt pretty good about the situation, but I was just afraid of dying, and Reuniclus was my win condition, so I am going to hard switch out into Alomomola, which was a bad play on my part because it's allowing this thing to set up. Alomomola is very easily set up on it. I should have made the play out into Blacephalon or into Camerupt, or just stayed in to click Psychic for damage, but he is going to get a second Dragon Dance up as I go for the Toxic, hopefully putting this thing on a timer. I know Blacephalon can still outspeed if he is bulky, but I haven't done any calcs, so he is going to go for the return here. I know that he's not full attack investment, but we can see how he gets the crit on our Alomomola. I believe that did matter because, actually it probably didn't matter. It depends on his attack investment. I remember looking at the calc and it was like 92 to 104, but if he was attack invested, then it probably was a no-go every time. So I am going to go out into my Blacephalon. It's the only play. I am Scarfed. If he doesn't have speed investment, I do outspeed. A Shadow Ball is going to do about 57%, making it die from the Toxic. If he is not Spadef, but I think he told me that he was pretty bulky, so about 45%, which means I will have to stack off Camerupt as well to have a chance at winning this game. So he's actually going to switch out, which I'm surprised about because he could have just went for game there, but he goes out into Miltank, and obviously that's a pretty safe play, so I have to go and recover up now with my Reuniclus. It's my only play to make, and he actually gives it to me, so Reuniclus is going to be able to click recover here and still have a chance to win the game. I looked at the calcs, and as far as Psychic goes, it had a chance to kill. Probably wasn't the best play here, so I actually do go out into Camerupt, basically stacking it off because I don't think I can really win this match. But we do eat, and I believe I am slower. I should be slower, so I think we have to take another hit here, and we do go down to the Earthquake. So Camerupt is going to fall once more without a kill. And I have to go for game here with Reuniclus. So, looking at the calcs, I can set up a Calm Mind on this thing. A Thunderbolt is doing about, I believe, 30 or 40%. Maybe a little bit more than that, 45%. After a Calm Mind, the next one's going to do about 35%. I can recover, and I can win this game with our Reuniclus. So, I could go for Trick Room here, could go for Calm Mind. No matter what, we should have this game in the bag. Looking at the calcs, I know that we can live 2 Thunderbolts after a Calm Mind. I go for the Calm Mind, and he gets the crit. Yeah, that's how the game ends. I can't believe he got the crit. If I went for Trick Room here, we still had a chance to win the game because I could kill him with Psychic and then recover up on the Miltank or do some damage on the Altaria. Unfortunately, we are going to lose this game, and we click Calm Mind, and he's going to be able to finish us off. So I'm not sure actually how much that Thunderbolt would have done because it did 87%. So by crits, I think that means it had to actually do 55%. So maybe we actually couldn't have set up, but I feel like that would still, if it did 55%, then we still would have lived because we would have been at 51% after leftovers. But yeah, he is going to beat us with his Miltank. We don't get any crits on it, unfortunately, and that's going to be a 2-0 victory for Byron. So Byron actually has been one of the only coaches in our little community that's been able to consistently beat me. I've only beaten Byron twice, and he's beaten me, I think, 5 times or 4 times in the past. I also beat him. We beat him PSBL Season 2 with our 2 coaches, but they didn't have a great season. But in UPL, Byron has beaten me both times we played, and now in PSBL, he has beaten me. So Byron has the winning record over me, I believe. And yeah, Byron's a really good coach, so he's going to advance to, I believe, 2-2 on the season, as we're going to drop to 3-1. We have Rock Hands next week, and I did make some free agent transactions after this game. Actually, it was before this game, but they're in place for next week. So, looking at my team, I realized Torkoal probably isn't the best thing to have. Getting that 3rd fire type on the team is annoying, and like, it's not really there to support the team too well. So I did end up dropping Torkoal, and looking at tier 3, there wasn't really too much that replaced Torkoal. Blastoise was sitting in tier 4, but the problem was that Blastoise was my 3rd water type, and I don't really want 3 water types on my team. So I decided that I was going to pick up Alolan Persian out of tier 3, which is decent because it allows me to parting shot out into my offensive threats, like a Zeraora to get belly drums up, like Camerupt to actually put in work because it can't take hits too well, but if everything's at -1, then it can, or Blacephalon to go into a late game sweep. So Persian actually helps out the team quite a lot, but it gives me another dark type. So looking at our tier 2, we have Hydreigon, which is Dark Dragon, also weak to a lot of things Persian is weak to. I really like Hydreigon. It does have that defog, which is really important. But I didn't really know what to do about it. I saw my tier 4 in Electros and realized that in my future matchups, I really don't think it's going to have the best matchup. So I decided I was going to drop both of those two, Hydreigon and Electros. I picked up Magnezone in tier 2, and I picked up Aerodactyl in tier 4. Aerodactyl gives me that defog that I didn't have because I was dropping Hydreigon. And yeah, Magnezone gives me that fast, well, not fast, but electric type that can also put in a lot of work with Scarf. It can do really well. It's a good assault vest user like Hydreigon. It doesn't get reliable recovery, defog, anything like that, but it does put in a lot of work. It can trap steel types, which is really important for our next couple of matches, and I feel like Aerodactyl is really nice. I've used Aerodactyl before. A lot of people maybe see it as offensive, but it's not really offensive in my opinion. I really like using a stall breaker set with like Taunt, Stealth Rocks, or Defog somewhere in there with like maybe one attacking move. It's a really good Pokemon. I've used it offensively as well. I've led a league in kills with it, having like 15 kills in 11 games, which was pretty cool. It's one of my favorite Pokemon to use in the format, so hopefully with our new squad we can really utilize our threat. With those transactions, it does give us our weakness to water pretty heavily, but we have Tangrowth and Alomomola to cover that. I'm hoping in the future we can actually really control the pace of games with our Persian, and I think that's going to do really well. We have two Taunt users, which Taunt is actually like my favorite move in the game, especially for Draft League, so I'm going to really enjoy using them. Every time I've used Persian before this, it hasn't worked out, but I'm going to do my best. The Z-Barding Shot is banned, but there are a few other cool sets I can run with it, so I'm going to try that out. If you guys want to see Persian in like the best I've ever seen it, Under the Radar or Coach Kelly in the MPA has it this season, and he's used it excellently, if that's a word. But anyways, that's gonna do it for this video. So hopefully you guys did all enjoy it. I'll see you guys for week 5, hopefully soon. I have done the battle at the time I'm recording this one, so I'll probably record week 5 directly after this. So hopefully you guys did all enjoy. I'm out for now. Peace.